So this is me taking the drive shaft off Fabia. The drive shaft nut is a see that 36 mil 12-point socket. Take that off. Just push the drive shaft through the hub. I thread the nut back on just a touch, and I used a suitably sized socket. So this is a 23 mil socket. Put it on there. Didn't need to use much force, but a lump hammer with the socket, and gently push it back through so that comes off. To undo the drive shaft nut first, you need to do it with a wheel on the floor so you can get the purchase, so you can get enough torque without the wheel spinning. To undo that, that comes off. Use the extension socket, gently tap, push it through. Once you can't do it with that and that, yeah. And the drive shaft, then that should become free. Be able to should become loose and be able to push through the back of the hub. Right. So before I've done any of that, these here, I think they're M10s, triple square if you're in the US. M10 socket. So there's 6 to undo there, and then I've also, let's see one hole there. Right, so that hole there is where this would have been, and that is the bottom of the ball joint. Right, so to undo them, it's basically like that. For the Fabia, it's a 13 mil socket on the bottom. There's that drift, the lump hammer. That then pops off, and the reason why it ends up coming away is because the anti-roll bar is pushing up, because I'm only jacked up on one side, which is pushing through the drop link, which is pushing the strut out, which means that this is now free. Ta-da! And then the reverse will fit. I'm going to take these bolts off. I'm not going to bother doing it in this video. Take these bolts off, and you can see, maybe you can see, there's a load spreader between these two bolts. It's like an arch. That's to evenly distribute the load on the bolts across the rest of the inner drive shaft. Take the bolts off, retain these load spreaders because they don't come with the new drive shaft that I've got. Fit that back in, do the bolts, tighten the bolts up finger tight first, tighten them at opposite sides, working your way around like you would do if you're tightening a wheel. Once that's done, then tighten them up to 75 to 80 Newton meters. Once that's done, then we feed the new drive shaft spline back through into the hub, push it all back together, tighten up that to 100, put the wheel back on, then drop the car down so the wheel's on the floor, and then carry on tightening that nut up to 200 Newton meters. Before we even do that, obviously we need to refit the where is it, in there, these ball joint nuts. Can't remember what they do it to, 30 mate, 45, can't remember. Not super tight, but not more than finger tight. Yeah, so let's go through that again. Removal is crack the drive shaft nut, remove the ball joints, nuts, undo them, loosen the inner drive shaft nuts, bolts, M10. I've left them on, which meant I could easily then push this through and not let everything fall apart. Then refitting his drive shaft nuts, 80 Newton meters, finger tight first, opposite sides. Once everything's lined up, 80 Newton meters. Ball joint in the bottom of the wishbone. Where is it? See it there. 1, 2, 3. Thanks.